What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Mike, and it's Thursday. I'm rolling around the chair over here. Let me know if the audio comes in good. I sent my boy Scott a link so he could help me test out my audio, but clearly he never got the public service announcement to jump on and let me know if the audio was good. But it's Thursday, y'all. It's literally 3 weeks from today that I go live for the very last time before I jump on a plane and head to Europe to board the beautiful Sun Princess. Now, let me tell you, if y'all have not been following along with the creators that are currently on board the Sun Princess, you are absolutely missing out on such a beautiful ship. It is absolutely one of the most gorgeous ships I've seen to date, and I've never been more jealous in my life that I'm not on a cruise ship right now. We're talking Doug Parker, we're talking Sherry, we're talking Emma, Don, JJ Cruz. There's so many creators that are on that ship currently. No, I'm not in Florida. That's okay. I'll be on it in 3 short weeks. I hope everything is up and running by then. Let's get into the chat. Let's say what's going on, everybody. Scott said good evening, even though he was here 1:30 this afternoon, leaving comments. Terry and Jean in the house. Ocean, what's going on? And Cindy, hope you have a fantastic night. Travis Watiza, what's going on? Jimmy, all the way from Puerto Rico. What's going on, brother? In the house. Controversial cruising. Party on high seas. You finally caught alive, bro. What is up? What is up? What is up? Again, 12:46, right? So 1:45 my time, 12:45 your time. You are already in the chat saying hi to everybody. So if you want to get here before Scott, make sure you y'all are subscribed to that notification bell on. Get a little notification that I'm going to be going live. I'm freezing up. I'm afraid if I switch it, it's going to die out. Am I back? Am I back? Okay. Am I back? I'm hardwired into the internet, so I don't know why I'm lagging. I should not be having issues with internet. All right, let's work through this and see how we can hopefully make this better throughout the night. I'm getting comments that say I'm out of focus. I'm lagging. Man, you know what? Spectrum does me dirty once again. Listen, when you live in Florida, it's kind of hard. You only have a few providers, and my local provider is Spectrum. It is what it is. Uber Cruisers in the house. Antoinette and Fun. And I said party on the high seas. What's going on, Eric? Y'all let me know if the focus is better and if the internet's better. I'm hardwired in, so I shouldn't have any issues with the internet. Everything looks good on my end. It's showing that I'm good. So Chuck says I look good. Jimmy says a little bit better. We lived in Riverview. Spectrum is what it is. Yeah, and it's horrible. Like, I cannot tell you how much I hate Spectrum as my provider here in Spring Hill. It's absolutely horrible. But anyway, back to the topic of the conversation. So I got 3 weeks until I leave to get on the Sun Princess. Now, there's a little disappointing news that came out this morning. When I woke up, I checked my email. The excursion that me and Chuck had booked for Rome on that Sunday, we arrive on Saturday. We had a Vatican tour scheduled for Saturday. That's still a go, but the Rome in a day tour that we booked through Viator got canceled. So we're waiting on confirmation from Viator that that was canceled, and then we're going to book something else. But that was like the one thing I was super stoked about. It gave us 10, 12 different locations. It gave us the Pantheon, the Colosseum, the Trevi Fountain, the Spanish Steps. Now, I know I can hit all those things without an excursion or a tour, but the tour was perfect. It was like a good combination of things. It broke up the day. It gave us a little bit of a 2-3 hour break in the afternoon and then picked up again in the evening. So it was probably the best tour that we could have booked through Viator at the time. Now, I've looked at other websites like Get Your Guide and all of that stuff, which I highly recommend both Viator and Get Your Guide. If you're doing a couple days before your cruise leaves in any port around the world, definitely check out Viator or Get Your Guide because they have some awesome excursions that you can do wherever it may be. So I know there's some excursions that people booked in Barcelona through Viator, through my group. And then me and Chuck booked some for Greece as well as Rome before we even departed and embarked on the Sun Princess. But that one was canceled for Sunday. So we have to get something new figured out for that Sunday. It's not really like the end of the world. We can find something. That's a big thing. It is what it is. Things happen. Things come up. So we're definitely going to find something new for that. So that way we can fill the day. And then we get on the ship on Monday. So I wanted to go live tonight, touch base on a few things. We got 3 weeks to go. I haven't started packing yet. I don't know what I'm going to take. I have to figure out camera equipment and I have to figure out how many outfits I want to bring with me, right? So I don't want to overpack on this trip. I get laundry service with Princess. I get laundry service with Carnival. So both cruises, I'll be able to get my laundry cleaned free of charge. And if I wanted to go to the self-service laundry, I can do that too, and it's very inexpensive, right? So that's what I need to figure out. And I also need to figure out what are some must-have essentials that no matter the length of the voyage is, you bring with you. Like you never leave it at home. You constantly bring it with you. I need to know those things because even though as many cruises that I've been on and as much as I have traveled, on the last cruise, it was brought to my attention that there are things that I don't bring that I should bring. Chuck brought Orajel, and Nathan ended up having a toothache. I did not have Orajel in my bag. I didn't think that was something I should bring. Now, I do bring over-the-counter medications like Excedrin, Advil for sinus, things like that. I bring all my regular personal medications. I definitely bring a toothbrush, Terry. Nobody wants to have bad breath on the cruise ship. So I definitely bring all those things, right? So sinus medicine, some Pepto, some Rolaids or Tums. I bring all of that. But the other things that I think other people bring that I don't have, I think would be a good list. The Lourdes, I did get your list. My flights are direct, so I don't have any long layovers. I have a long enough layover in Lisbon, Portugal. We got lounge passes, so we're going to go hang out in the lounge. We got about 5 hours in between our flights from Miami to Lisbon and then Lisbon over to Rome. So we got some time there. So we're going to break that up with the lounge. So I'm going to do a full lounge review on TAP Portugal. I'm going to do a full flight review on TAP Portugal. And we're taking the Brightline from Orlando to Miami. So I'm going to do a Brightline train review as well. So it's not too bad. The layover's not too long. Everything looks good. Kathy in the house. Warm Strong Adventures in the house. What's going on? I'm a little jealous of Bill too. He just got back from an epic itinerary too. That's another one on the bucket list. A plastic poncho instead of an umbrella. Now I do have an umbrella that I bring with me. It's a real small travel collapsible size umbrella, so that's definitely going to make its way into the bag. I have traveled in Europe around April before, so I know it can get a little bit wet. Other than that, I really don't think I need anything else. What did Tessa say to bring? What'd she say to bring? What'd she say to bring? I basically bring a tiny pharmacy, Band-Aids. So I bring a little first aid kit, and I'm going to be with a paramedic, right? So I'm really not over concerned because I know this guy's going to pack way too much stuff, and he's probably not going to need half of it. But if I need something, I know he's going to have it. So I'm just trying to figure out those little things that you would not think about taking yourself, right? Like for someone like me, like Laura's just said, a corkscrew for your wine bottles. I wouldn't think of that. I wouldn't think of bringing a corkscrew. Um, it happens. I probably wouldn't even ever consider bringing it. I think I'm going to bring a cheese knife and a cheese plate because I'm head over heels wanting to get as much cheese as I possibly can while I'm over there. But it's those little things, right? Like I have a fan that I usually bring with me on every cruise. Chuck's going to bring his. I'm not going to bring mine. I don't want to take up the space in my suitcase. I think I'd rather leave it. And if Chuck don't bring his, then I'll ask him. If they got one, they got one. If not, well, then I'll suffer. But I wanted to touch base on that. I also wanted to touch base on this whole big ordeal that's floating around in the YouTube space right now about the Ben and David being silenced on MSC. I'll give you my 2 cents on the situation, then I'm gonna leave it there. I don't think it's worth kicking a dead horse at this point in time. But we'll get into that later on into the show. And then I also want to get into camera equipment, right? Like I'm entitled to have one carry-on bag up to 22 pounds, one check bag up to 50 pounds, and then one personal item up to 4 pounds. I want to travel with the least amount of stuff as possible. Now, for those of you who are new, the last time I flew to Portugal was back in April of last year, and I flew back from Barcelona to Miami. Well, when we checked in Barcelona, my bags were good. Everything was great. The weight was fine. Everything was good to go. No issue, no problem. We arrived in Lisbon. We went through passport control yet again, and then they charged me 187 euros for my carry-on or my check bag, not my check bag, my carry-on. They charged me 187 euros for my carry-on bag. Now, they told me it was too heavy to fly as a carry-on bag, so I had to pay the second check bag fee at the gate, which was 187 euros. Now, the problem is with that $187 and 187 euros, they still let me carry the bag on the plane as a carry-on. They didn't check it. So you charged me 187 euros for a second check bag fee, but you didn't make me check the bag. I was still able to carry it as a carry-on. So I want to make sure my bags are at that spot where they're not super heavy and I'm good to go and I don't have no issues. Tess Alman in the house. Hey guys, coming in live from my hallway closet. Tornado warning, sirens. Think I'll be fine, but I'm here. Tess, you need to worry about yourself. Be safe. Keep yourself safe. Stay in the closet, bathtub, things like that. And that's why I live in Florida. We don't really get tornadoes here, and I'm thankful for that. We get some wicked hurricanes, though. So sometimes the good outweighs the bad type situation. But be safe. Don't be crazy on here worrying about that. Being safe is more important. But that's where we're at. I got 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks is enough time to figure everything out and get everything finalized and then packed up. I started making lists on things I wanted to film on board the brand new ship, as well as the ports we're going to. Now, all these ports that we're going to go to in April are brand new to me, except for 2 of the ports on the second voyage. So I've already been to Valencia. I've already been to Malaga. I have not been to Las Palmas or Bermuda. And then all the other ports are all new to me. So all the ports in Greece and Italy, Montenegro, and all of that. Um, that's all new. So I'm definitely going to be getting off the ship. I'm going to be exploring Greece and getting out and just seeing the sights and sounds and just being in the moment. I'm definitely going to make some vlogs. So, like I said, I'm coming up with a list of things to film, a list of things to film on the ship. That's my main important focus with this cruise is the ship. Good news came out of it. We did get upgraded, so we're no longer in an inside. We are in a balcony cabin. So um, that's a plus. Now I can set up the GoPro for Salaway. I can set it up for arriving in ports in the morning, catching the sunset, things like that. And then getting out there and getting them epic pictures of the Mediterranean when we're floating around for a few days. So I can't wait for all of that. I'm super stoked. I wish I could take everybody with me, right? Like, I wish everybody could just be like, all right, we're coming. It's a big group cruise. I wish that was possible because I know there's going to be so much stuff over there that is going to be epic to see. Everyone's going to enjoy it and everyone's going to love everything. And I just wish there was a lot more people to be able to share it with. But I am going to go live a few times from the ship. The time change will be about 6 hours ahead of the US. So I plan to do my lives later on in the evening, so 6, 7, 8 o'clock. I want to do a few walk and talk, like few walk and talk lives while we're on board. Show you some of the new things, the dome, the sphere, that piazza they got looks absolutely amazing. And then I'm hoping that the shows are available by then, right? So I want to be able to see the shows and catch the new shows and film what I can film. I have been in contact with public relations, so I don't have to worry about that. And with that, we'll segue into the MSC dilemma. So here's my 2 cents on the whole Ben and David silenced MSC dilemma. From what I hear and what I've read, there was a few guests in the yacht club that were not okay with being on film during the process of Ben and David filming through the yacht club. Now, the yacht club is more like a private area. It's not open to just everybody. You have to book the yacht club in order to be in the yacht club. So it's kind of like the reserve with Princess. The Sun Princess is one of the, it's the first of its kind. It's got a reserved area, a reserved dining room. If you're not booked in a reserved room, then you're not able to access those certain areas. So from what I hear, what I read, and all the scuttlebuttle that's going on out there, is it happened in the yacht club, and unfortunately, MSC didn't handle it properly. Even though they wrote an apology and all of that stuff, that's great. I don't think that it's a bad thing. I think good things are going to come out of this. I definitely look forward to seeing what comes out of it in the future, whether it's great for small content creators or not. I believe it'll be great for all creators. I don't think it'll be one negative for small creators and better for large creators. I think it'll be good for all creators, kind of like a vetting process, giving you a contact person within the cruise line to reach out to and let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be on board. They might give you some type of media pass or something like that. So I think good things are going to come out of it. I felt bad for Ben and David. So definitely didn't want their cruise to be cut short, but good things came out of it. So, you can't, you got to look at the bad and then take the bad out of it, because a lot of good's going to come from the negative. Bone Tire Travelers in the house. What's going on, Denise? So, like I said, I'll keep my eyes and ears out on the situation and see how it progresses over the next few months. It's definitely interesting. So, we'll see what happens. Ian said, I heard through the grapevine that you and Tony B are cruising together soon. So the grapevine did not lie. Me and Tony are cruising together on the Utopia of the Seas, July 22nd. However, we have also booked the first sailing of the Utopia of the Seas for July 19th. So we will be on for 7 days on the Utopia of the Seas, the inaugural sailing and the original, what was supposed to be the inaugural sailing. So that's going to be an awesome trip. That's going to be another great adventure, brand new ship, newest in the Oasis class. And it'll be my first Royal. So Tony will have to teach me right. And, who knows? I might end up being loyal to Royal. You never know. You never know. Now, listen, I'm not I'm not cruise line specific loyal anymore. I used to be that way. I sailed the most with Princess, but now I'm out there trying all ships, all cruise lines, all different cruise ports, destinations, things like that, and I'm enjoying it. So, but yeah, Utopia of the Seas, July 19th, and then again July 22nd is what me and Tony are doing. So the review was good up to the point where they couldn't film anymore. Yeah, and that's the disappointing thing, right? So like, if you got more on the backstory with Ben and David, they've had a bad experience with MSC before, and I think that didn't help the situation any. But Ben and David are great guys. I've got the chance of hang out with Ben and David last year on the celebration. We've had some good conversations. They're great dudes. Um, and I don't see I don't see anything bad coming out of the situation. But I'm not going to be that person that kicks the horse, right? Like, I mean, this is all over. Like, everyone's been talking about this. It's pretty big news when you got one channel being talked about amongst so many other channels, right? And I don't have a large enough platform for me to be like putting my 2 cents in. I think there's going to be good that comes out of the negative for sure. And like I said, whether it be small channels or large channels, I think it's going to help everybody within the community space. I'm a firm believer that there's enough YouTube out there for anybody. So if you want to film cruise ship reviews, if you want to film cruise ports, if you want to film anything cruise related, put it together, put it out there. Let your creative side show. There's plenty of YouTube to go around for everybody. We used to be Princess all the time, now Elite, and are still loyal. However, we are spreading our wings and having two Carnival cruises, two MSC cruises. So that was the same thing with me, right? Like, Princess is the most I've cruised on. I'm Elite with Princess. I love Princess. I like the little things that Princess does for their guests. I'm a big fan of the medallion network, like the medallion technology. I'm absolutely I'm a firm believer that every cruise line should go that route. They're not going to, but they should, because I like the whole contactless thing. I don't have to worry about a lanyard. I have a little device that connects to my watch, and my medallion pops right into my watch. I enjoy it. And I just wish other cruise lines, even if it was just within the Carnival Corporation, right? So like Carnival, P&O, Cunard, if they just all switched over to that medallion technology, it would be so much better than the plastic cards. I don't know about you, but I hate leaving the cabin and forgetting the plastic card hanging up on the wall. A rising tide rises all ships, pun intended. That it does. I really can't wait for World America. I decided to take the upgrade on the yacht club, and that's awesome. That upgrade, when you sent me that message, I was like, yes, do that right away, because that's a great price for yacht club upgrade, right? Now, for those of you who haven't sailed MSC, MSC is an independently owned cruise line. They're not in the stock market. They're not out there selling shares and this, that, and the third. They're independently owned cruise line. They're owned by the Mediterranean Shipping Company. That's what the MSC stands for. And it's a great cruise line. I enjoy MSC. I've been on multiple. I've had a great time every time. The food's great. The coffee's great. But you got to go into it with an open mind, just like everything else. If you go into it going, the food's going to be horrible, then you're going to leave with the expectations of the food is horrible. But if you go in with an open mind, your mind will allow you to see things in a different light. So just go into MSC with an open mind. The Yacht Club is an awesome upgrade. If you have the extra funds to be able to do it, I highly suggest it. The Yacht Club is absolutely one of the best parts of being on an MSC ship. If that's what they did to them, imagine what they could do to us. It's true. It's true. It's a tough situation, right? So you kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in some of the things that you do. There's been plenty of times where I've been asked not to film. There's been plenty of times where I've filmed certain areas on other ships and I was told I couldn't film it on another ship. So I'll give you a perfect example, right? I filmed the steakhouse as a whole review. So if I go and I film Fahrenheit 555, no problem. The dinner's done, the review's done. I showed you the kitchen, I showed you this, I showed you that. While we were on a Carnival cruise, I went to film that steakhouse experience because their steakhouse was laid out different. The kitchen was set up different, and I was told I couldn't film the kitchen. I obviously talked to people up front, and then I got permission to be able to film it, so they were all aware that I was allowed to film it. But some people don't know all the rules. So, in order to not tick anybody off or anybody to tick me off, okay, no problem. I can't film. I'll go talk to the maitre d' or I'll talk to somebody that's higher up and then get permission to be able to film. So, all the times I filmed on MSC, I didn't have any issues. It just seems like it was a bad. It just seemed like bad timing, in my honest opinion. My wife is a big fan of the mini bar and the free laundry. Absolutely. Who doesn't love a free mini bar and free laundry? Like, I mean, you can't really complain with it, right? Y'all have a good night. Starting to really boom here. Going to shut electronics down. Terry, have a great night. Be safe. I think it's only a matter of time before everyone adapts something like the medallion technology. I think that would be awesome. I think every cruise line needs to adapt something very similar. I mean, Disney already does it with the parks, right? So you have the Disney wearables for the parks. I think they should definitely transfer that to their ships. I think that'll be great as well. Love MSC. Ben and David's issues won't change my mind traveling on them again. And that's the thing, right? Like, are you going to allow something like that to change your mind from cruising with that line? Now, MSC did right. They reached out right away. They didn't let this thing float around out there on the internet land for a while. They got a hold of it and you know, they sat down, they had a meeting, they did all that stuff right away. So that's good on MSC's part. I often ask permission to film if I think there may be an issue. And that's the same thing, right? It don't hurt to ask permission. Now, I'll tell you from my standpoint, I reach out to cruise lines. I let them know. I reach out to the public relations team. I reached out to Princess for my upcoming cruise with Princess. Let them know, like, hey, look, I'm going to be on. This is the sailing I'm going to be on. It's not to try and get anything out of the cruise line. Now, there are times where you get welcome gifts or things like that, but it's to let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be on. This is a brand new ship. Is there any way I can get some behind the scenes type of access to create a video and show everybody, what Princess has done with the new ship, the first of its kind type thing. So reaching out to public relations ain't a bad thing. Do we always reach out to public relations? No, we don't always reach out to public relations, but it happens, right? There's times it happens. So I don't know. Like I said, I think good's going to come out of it. I don't think it's going to be anything bad that comes out of the situation. I think all be good. And it could have been particular employees. That's the thing, right? Like that's what I've experienced on Carnival. That particular employee thought I couldn't film, but then I was granted permission from the maitre d', and then he went and talked to the employee, and he was like, "No, he can film. He's good. He's not in the galley. It's open kitchen. You can see right from your seat, so he can film. Not a problem." Now, when I went on the Jubilee, I was able to film the full galley. I went and did chef's table. I filmed the galley from start to finish inside the full main galley. No problem, no issues. The main seems like the main issue was the way it was handled. And that was the main issue, right? It was just the way it was handled. It was an awkward, uncomfortable situation, but again, MSC did their best of getting to the bottom of it and getting it taken care of, offered a full refund, and they're sitting down meeting and coming up with some type of program and policy, which I think is going to be awesome. I've had 2 encounters with security on a ship twice, nothing I did, and they were just downright rude, like power trip attitude. It happens. And it's a tough thing, right? Like you don't know what security's involved with. And I'll give you all a quick story. I went on the Carnival Horizon 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. And the people next to my cabin were fighting all the time. Like, I mean, non-stop, to the point where I really thought someone was going to get tossed off the ship. So We contacted security. They came out. They set out the door, and it was bad. Like, it was horrible. They separated them. One was in this cabin. One was in that cabin. Security was posted out both cabins. But when you would talk to the security guys, they would be like a little on edge because they're trying to deal with everything. So I don't think they just personally want to be that way. I just think, you know, they're a little bit on edge, and sometimes it just happens. It really shouldn't matter what of all people going around with their cell phones filming, taking pictures. And again, it's not that it doesn't matter. It's just where it happened at is where I believe the issue was at, right? So it's yacht club. There's a lot of people that pay a lot of money for that little bit extra privacy. So it's like staying, and just letting anybody up there. It's not like that's a private, secluded area. So people paid extra for that. And then some people just felt uncomfortable. They went to an employee, and then unfortunately, it seemed like the employee didn't know policy or anything like that. So again, they handled it. They're getting it all taken care of and squared away, and hopefully nothing but good things come from it. I've had multiple issues while filming on Princess when entering the cruise ship through security. I just make a joke about it and turn off the camera. Not, haha. So security is a big thing, right? So a lot of people don't realize that when inside the terminal, even though you're past the security checkpoint, if there's backdrops for photos or anything like that, all of those backdrops are trademarked. So they will tell you they can take your phone because technically you're still in like a secure area, right? So anytime you walk through the airport or anything like that, TSA, you can't be recording anything. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually good because it prevents people from like filming a location and then trying to commit horrendous acts on said location by having video of it. So I don't film until I get my card scanned and then I get through the terminal, right? So what I mean is, like, when you go through Carnival, you go through security, then you wait, then they call your number, and then they scan your boarding pass. Once I get past that point of them scanning my boarding pass, then I'll turn my phone on or my camera on and I'll record. I'll walk up the gangway recording, things like that, no issues. But anytime inside the secure terminal area, I don't even bother to film because 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you to put it away. The audio and video is a bit choppy. Mary Ellen Dillon, hello to you. It's been going on. We're getting some storms here, and I have Spectrum, so that should. Even if I wasn't getting storms, I still have Spectrum, so I'd probably still be the same way. Honestly, what security has to deal with shouldn't result in me being treated badly. Long story short, a non-drinking BF of mine was punched in the face by a stranger for unknown reasons during the investigation. They asked me to repeatedly if I had been drinking, and I told them yes, but I was involved in the situation, and he never drinks. It was awful. So it's tough, right? Like, and it is true. Like, you shouldn't be talked to that way. But again, we don't know what they go through. It's hard to say. Like, I don't want to speak for the security people because I don't know what they go through on a daily basis. You can't expect privacy, right? Like, you can't expect the privacy on a ship with 5,000 people, James. And you're right. You can't expect it. But if you have somebody that's like a creator filming a lot, I get it. Like, I understand it. It's not like somebody that's just taking a picture or like a quick little video of somebody's outfit or something like that. So it's tricky. Hello from Brisbane, Australia. Hello. I will darn it. I almost gave it away. I'm not going to give it away, but hello. I hope you're having a great day over there. I filmed the gangway, then literally hop on the first stop on board. Yeah, and it's tough, right? Like, some people, they want to film this or they want to film that. I don't know. I just think I don't film anything until I get to the gangway. Once they scan me, I'm up, I'm on the gangway, then I can film, I get on the ship, I film walking on the ship. And I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. I don't want to push anybody's buttons before I even get on the ship. I want to make sure I'm good to go getting on the ship with no problems. Right. We're all going to be in the background of someone's photo, TikTok, etc. But a little bit of respect goes a long way. Absolutely. Absolutely. From now on, I won't call security unless I'm being physically assaulted or something super serious. Two very bad experiences with them. Tess, I'm sorry you had bad experiences with security. It might have just been, just a horrible day. Everyone's entitled to a bad day, right? Like we can't really hold um, people accountable for bad days, but then you can. It's again rock and a hard place type situation, right? So I definitely would have talked to somebody about it. I don't know if I would have let that go. I definitely would have talked to somebody about it. Get past security, then film. Yep, absolutely. Chuck Spencer, I'm at work right now too. I'm at work right now too, and I'm enjoying my job. Listen, I'm getting so tired of working a 9 to 5 job that I just don't want to do it. I want to do YouTube full time. So help me out. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the video. Any new videos that come out, watch them within the first hour. It helps YouTube with the algorithm and all that stuff. And one of these days, I'll be able to do this full time and not have to worry about a 9 to 5 anymore. No, Tess, you're absolutely right. You shouldn't be the one to pay for that. I am boarding in Civitavecchia. That's where we are boarding, and I'm not taking the train down. What did we do? We did a shared shuttle. So we signed up with a shuttle service through the port of Civitavecchia, and it picks up at local hotels all throughout the center city of Rome. Um, I think it's like 8 or 9 stops. It holds 16 people, I believe it is. Larry and Elaine Thomas are going with us. They're staying at the same hotel that we're staying at. So it makes it, no, 8 people, not 16. So they're staying at the same hotel as us. They're going on both cruises as well. So they're going to they hopped on the same shuttle with us and all of that. So we're going to take that shuttle early in the morning on the 8th. I believe it picks us up at 9 o'clock, and then head on to the ship and enjoy the day. I'm so full of envy that you get to do what you do, even if it's not full time. You are traveling more than I am able to. Yeah, and there's so many people that are envy. Um, and you know what? I love doing what I do. I love being able to make videos and bring them out to everybody and show everybody new ships, new ports, get to show people Europe. But I'm more excited about the point when it comes time in my life to where I'm able to take my kids with me on trips like this. I think that'll be the most gratifying moment of my life is when I can take my kids over to Italy and hop on a cruise and go around the Mediterranean with my kids for 7 days. So until then, I'll keep working, keep grinding, doing everything I can do until I can make that happen. Take the train. Okay, so maybe I'll look into the train. I don't think it was that expensive for the shuttle. I think the shuttle was relatively cheap. Tell Larry and Elaine I said hi. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think envy is a bad word. I mean, jealous. I'm super jealous. Like right now, there's a lot of us that are feeling jealous at the moment with all the awesome creators that are currently on the Sun Princess. But um, you know, one day. My hubby and I retired recently, and we get on a cruise 2 to 3 times per year. Thankfully, I tell you, we are so blessed. Absolutely, and that's a great way to look at it, right? Like I I'm 35 years old, and this is what I want to do full time. So when it comes to that point, I'm gonna be like, I'm retired now. This is my job. I get to cruise as often as I possibly can, and I look forward to that day, whether it happens in the near future when I'm still young or it happens when I'm old. But I don't plan on having a home base when I get old enough to retire. I plan on my home base being whatever cruise ship I'm on at that point in time. Lourdes did the train. It was okay. Kurt and Marcia see me traveling in the house. What is going on? I hope y'all are having a fantastic night up there in Virginia. Only have 30 more years to catch up to you. I'm catching up, man. I feel it. Last week I've been suffering with a real little, not like a real bad head cold, like a little head cold over the last probably 5 6 days. My right ear is completely clogged. I can't hear out my right ear. I went and I got on some allergy medicine. She put me on an antibiotic. Um, I was having a little back pain, which I thought was my kidney. So I was wrong. It's just lower back pain. But we got an ultrasound scheduled for that. And I'm like, man, I'm 35. But it's because I'm going away in April that I'm getting all of this done because the last thing I want to do is have any issues when I'm overseas or anything like that. My first cruise, I was 45. So, yeah, you got a head start and are fortunate. Taking the kids will be a huge bonus for sure, especially when you take them to Europe. Travel is the best education. And I'm a firm believer in travel. Travel is the best form of education. You can sit down and you can look at books and you can listen to this and listen to that. But travel, in my opinion, is one of the best forms of education. You're immersing yourself in a culture, you're immersing yourself in everything that is that culture and that lifestyle and everything. I believe wholeheartedly that travel is the best form of education. And I will preach that until my dying days. You can watch all these shows and you can learn all these languages and you can read all these books. But until you absolutely immerse yourself into that culture and that education, you're not going to experience it at all the way it should absolutely be experienced. 57. Don't look a day over 56, though. I'd have to agree. I would go with 55. No, not a day over 55. I had all that except the back pain after Jubilee. Didn't fully recover for 2 weeks. It wasn't severe, but it lasted a long time. Yeah, so hopefully the antibiotic will knock out whatever it is. She's trying to tell me it's allergies because the pollen down here in Florida is so bad. Like I literally got my car washed on Monday. By the time I got out of work Monday night, my car was covered in pollen. So it's really bad down here this year. But there's no fluid in the ear. There's nothing in the ear. There's nothing in the nose. It's just the pressure in the sinuses is pushing on the ear canal, and it feels very clogged. Taking Mucinex and do not want the linger when flying. Yeah, that's my thing, right? So I don't want to have any lasting lingering. I already have bad enough sinuses as it is. So when I fly, my ears pop and it's a horrible feeling because they don't pop like your ears would normally pop, right? It's like pop and then like a sharp pain for a half hour and then it'll subside and then it comes back when we descend. So I already have horrible sinuses as it is. So I don't want anything to make anything worse. Also teaches them to be open, other cultures, races, etc. I was raised traveling the world and feel so fortunate because of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. My daughter is 10 years old, and if I continue on the path that she is on, she's projected to be elite with Princess by the time she's 16, and she'll be diamond with Carnival before she's 18. So, um, being able to take them with me as much as I can and have them experience it is a good thing. Now it's tougher during the school year, right? So I try to get something planned throughout the summertime with them. But we tend to go back up north, see family, visit family up north. We still got a whole bunch of family that live up north. So one of the reasons we have homeschooled for years is the travel aspect. Yeah, I wish I could homeschool. I don't know if I don't think I got the patience for that. How many Princess Cruises have you been on? This will be number 16. So yeah, 15, 16. Totally agree with you, Mike, about travel being the best education. I don't leave Australia until I was 40. My eyes were open wide each time I go to a new place. Yeah, it's tough, right? Like I just started experiencing Europe in 2021. So my first time over in Europe was for the inaugural sailing of the Carnival celebration. I met some amazing people over there. That's where I met Mary Ellen Dillon. It was a great time. And being able to experience a different culture, a different, continent and things like that were just epic. So to go to Spain and eat local and like authentic paella, Galician seafood. It just made the hunger to want to go back to Europe that much stronger. And then I went back last year. I'm going back this year. But this year I'm going back for a lot longer time. So I'm super stoked about it. Almost Diamond's 16-year-old grandson. Yeah, that's great for him. That's awesome. By the time he's old enough to sail on his own, he'll be double Diamond. I've sailed the most on Princess, yeah. Princess is the one line I've sat on the most, and I'm fortunate. My parents took me on cruises when I was a kid, and that was the cruise line of choice. That's when they started sailing, cruising, or that's when they started cruising was on Princess. So when we were kids, that's what we went on. So I was platinum before I was probably 15, 16 with Princess. We go to France and Germany in May, and I can't wait. I speak both of those languages too, so I'm beyond excited. That's awesome. So I started doing some online, like not doing classes, but I've been doing like some online research with just learning a few different like words and phrases in Italian or Spanish. And here's the thing, right? Like I should know Spanish. Spanish, I used to be able to have a full-fledged conversation in Spanish. My grandma and my aunts and uncles, excuse me, they're all from Puerto Rico. So my family comes from Puerto Rico. They all speak Spanish. They're all very fluent in Spanish. If you want to have a conversation or you walk in on a conversation, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be in Spanish. I took Spanish in school. I knew Spanish. I could speak fluent and hold a conversation in Spanish with anybody. As I got older, I lost it because my grandparents moved to Florida, so I wasn't around it as much. I didn't have conversations with people in Spanish, and the only words that tend to stick with you when you don't speak it are the bad words. So, there's that situation. But I've been learning a few words and phrases in Italian. I've been learning some other phrases that I don't know in Spanish. Learning some things in Greek, and it's just a different. Everything I've seen has told me that you don't have to worry about it. The locals tend to speak the language because of so many tourists come there that English tends to be a primary language that's spoken. So, not to stress it, but it just shows a little bit more respect for the people in the country if you just learn a few little things, right? Just it doesn't have to be much. Like if you're hungry, you can go into an Italian restaurant and tell them sono affamato. That means feed me, I'm hungry. Ciao, sono affamato. Things like that, like little phrases, little gestures. Good morning, good night. Asking where the bathroom is, things like that go a lot longer than being like, "Hey, can you tell me where the bathroom is?" They're like, "I don't know." Mike, I'll teach you for a small fee. LOL. The Spanish I know, I learned in Spain. What's the fee? I gotta take you on a cruise, right? It's the thing, Barcelona. I wish Carnival Corporation would have their programs crisscross all their cruise lines. Like if you're diamond with Carnival, you're diamond across all the other cruise lines. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish they would do that too because I would be diamond with uh, Carnival because of my elite status with Princess. Now, I get why they don't do it, but they absolutely should, especially even if they didn't cross reference it, right? Like, you don't have to give me the status, just count my days. So if I sailed 50 days with Carnival, but I got 130 days with Princess, then I should have 180 days total within the Carnival Corporation. So that would be how you base my loyalty status, right? So It's tough. It's tricky. I know why they don't do it. It's it's business economics 101, right? Like if they do that, they're going to lose money. If they keep it the way it is, they're not going to lose no money. Jimmy, I appreciate you, brother. After learning Spanish, I realized how difficult English is. Spanish is easy and it's a great gateway to the Italian and Portuguese. It is, right? So like my family's from Salinas and they have more family in Puerto Rico from um, like old San Juan area. And you can tell like the difference between the way they talk up in the mountains versus the way they don't like down in the city. So everyone tells me that Spanish will help you get into Italian a lot easier. It's close, it's similar, but you know, I just don't have the motivation to learn a full language. And I wish I did because I'm going to places where I'm going to want to learn a language. I just don't think that Spanish or Italian are the languages I want to fully learn. I want to learn languages like Cantonese or Japanese. Those are the languages I really, really, really want to learn. In Italy, our taxi driver knew no English, and I only knew a teeny bit of Italian, but we worked on that, and we could both speak pretty fluent German. So that was quite an interesting exchange. I learned Portuguese using Duolingo. So that's what I've been looking at a lot of stuff on Duolingo, and I've also been looking at um, there's this YouTube channel. What's the name of the YouTube channel? Simply Italian, I think it is. Let me see. And the guy is awesome. Italy Made Easy. So if you want to learn Italian, Italy Made Easy is an awesome YouTube channel to check out. He breaks it down in like 5-6 minute videos over the course of 30 days. It's absolutely amazing. And he does a great job. And you can understand the way he pronounces it and all of that stuff. So super, super simple, super, super easy. And it's it made it worth it. Like I think I'm on like day 15. Those are some high goals Cantonese. Wow. Yeah, it is, right? Like it's tough. I want to learn so many different things and I want to teach myself so many different things. Marjorie in the house with a super chat. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you for the super chat. I don't have no fancy music, but thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you very, very much. Get one of those language apps to sponsor your channel. Um, maybe one day. Right now, the focus is to get a cruise ship to sponsor the channel. Now, listen, there's some things out in the works. I can't let y'all know everything at the moment, right? Like, there's some stuff. So next week's live is going to be another live like this. It's going to be open, basic conversation. But the following week, that is when things are going to get a little crazy. So let's see, where are we at? Let me pull up the calendar here. So today is the 14th. Tomorrow, next Thursday. So the next two lives are going to be basic lives. They're going to be regular. As we get closer into April, things will heat up a little bit. We'll talk a little bit more about the Sun Princess. We'll talk a little bit more about the Carnival Glory coming out of dry dock. Things like that. So there are some new things that are coming in the very near future on Carnival Glory. There's some changes that are being made. There's a bunch of us that are boarding the ship and all going to have a great time after the Sun Princess. But next week will probably be just open conversation just like this. So if you have any questions, be sure to bring them next week. And then the following week will be all about the upcoming voyage. And then on the 4th, we're going to have a special guest join us on the live. And that's that. That's going to wrap it up. And then we're going to go live from the cruise ship. We're going to go live from this. We're going to go live from that. There's going to be so much stuff coming in the very near future. Listen, even though my excursion was canceled, I can't really argue with it. I got so much amazing stuff planned in the very near future that I can't dwell on that. But on the 4th, That's the day before we fly out. That's the day before we board the train. Mr. Chuck Spencer is going to join us live from my studio, which is my dining room, for those of you who didn't know. Chuck's going to be here. We're getting on the train early in the morning, so he's going to hop live with me, and we're going to talk all things Sun Princess. And we're going to ask him if he is ready to board his very first airplane from Miami to Rome, Italy. My man went big for his first flight. He is not taking a small little flight. He is taking a long flight across the Atlantic. So we're going to ask Chuck all the things that we want to know. So if you got questions for Chuck, make sure you bring them on the 4th, because he'll be here for that. And next Thursday, we're going to have See Me Traveling come to the house, and they're going to go live with me next Thursday. And the following week, we're going to have Bruce and Cindy from listen, if y'all want to go live with me, jump on. Let's go. Let me know y'all want to go live. I think I'm going to open it up. Maybe one of the next 2 weeks, I want to have a guest on. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll bring a guest on the next show or the show after that, and see what everybody's plans are. I know a few Italian phrases, and when I use them with cruise officers, they start rambling on Italian. Like, wait, slow down. Chuck is not ready for his flight. Chuck, this chair is very comfortable. I'll let you know right now. My butt don't hurt. My back don't hurt. It's very comfortable. It spins 360 degrees. See that? See that? Oh, yeah. Fancy chair. It's a good, comfortable chair. I might be nice and let you sit it on the 4th. I might be nice. Who knows? We are going to be in Barcelona in 31 days. Not me. I don't think I'll be there in 31 days. But I'll be there shortly after you. Have you ever cruised out of Long Beach? If so, tell me all about it. Next week's tips, tricks, etc. So I have not cruised out of Long Beach, Tess. I do plan on it in the very near future. And when I say near future, I mean like 6 months. But not yet. Long Beach is on the list. Take me and pack me on the Sun Princess. I wish I could. I wish I could take everybody. I really wish I could. Nothing to be afraid of, but I don't know. I know for some of the things, have a drink, take a breath, take a nap, all that. They're good tips. They're good tips. Kurt is going to bed. Kurt, Marshall, y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all in the morning. Scott said he's going to need one for him. It could happen. Scott, listen, I don't have room for 2 chairs. I don't have room. Tess, I can't join you for May 2nd because unfortunately I'll still be cruising at that time. So I leave on the 5th and I don't get back to the States until the 2nd of May. So there's no way I'm going to be able to fly from Port Canaveral all the way over to Los Angeles and board in Long Beach. So unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Yeah, churros and chocolate. I'm definitely thinking churros and chocolate. That's definitely going to be my breakfast that morning when I wake up in Spain. Is churros and chocolate. Well, all of the excuses. That one is legit. That one is absolutely legit. The Carnival Glory doesn't get back until the 2nd of May, and then that's it. I'm home. It's going to be a crazy adventure, right? Like this is going to be the longest time I'm away from my kids. I don't know how I'm going to handle that. But you know, they know dad's out there trying to make it big on YouTube and eventually be able to take all them with them. The Lego pineapple's doing good, man. It's up in the cabinet. It's safe away from people touching it, so it don't break. It's doing good. Appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. But that's about it. Next week we'll talk more. We'll get into more tips, more tricks, more travel hacks. Any tips you got for Chuck with flying, y'all bring them next week. That way we can give him some pointers on flying planes. I don't think he's worried. If he is, he's got nothing to worry about. Other than flying coach. Well, I'm flying business class. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But that's it, y'all. It's been a great day. It's been a great live. I appreciate y'all for coming here. Make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out. And until next time. I'll see you. No, I won't. Until next time, y'all stay naughty. Peace.